Yeah, I think I told the team right afterwards, I think there's some phases of the game that we're weeks ahead of really where I wanted to be. I thought we're weeks ahead in our offense, our offensive system work. Our serving is exceptional, and our defense is pretty good right now. A little bit behind in the serve-receive game, but I think that happens the first time that you go live to 25 points. And those are little things now that we get to start working on in the next 2 weeks. But overall, I'm pretty excited with where we are up to this point. Certainly some things that we need to build on. But offensively, defensively, serving-wise, tremendous. Serve-receive, we got a little bit of work to do, but I don't have any concerns about that whatsoever.
Good. Can you talk about how important your 6 seniors are this year to the foundation of this team?
Yeah, that's critical. I mean, the seniors for us are the culture. You know, they really are the ones that have been there since the formative days of us rebuilding this program back up into, you know, a nationally prominent program. And so, you know, their loyalty to the program, their passion for the program, all the work that they've put in on and off the court for the program, we can't even put a value on that. And even now, even when we're in a little scrimmage like this where we're just kind of stretching our legs a little bit, their leadership with the younger players and the new players and teaching them what the UCF volleyball way is, it's absolutely priceless for us. And the contribution that all 6 of them are making to this team is really going to help propel us to the goals that we have for this year.
What kind of goals do you have for this year? What do you want going into the season?
Yeah, I think right now the first goal, you know, is to try to make the NCAA tournament. Well, how do you do that? One of 2 ways. You either have to win your conference, so that's one of those goals, is to put ourselves in a position where we can win the conference in November. Or the other one, you know, you build an RPI that's high enough that maybe you don't make the NCAA tournament as the automatic bid, but you've built up the RPI points to get in as an at-large selection. So, I mean, for this team, I really believe that we've been close, you know, 2 out of the last 3 years where we feel like we've had a shot at being on the bubble at least. I think this team, primary goal number 1 is to win the American Athletic Conference, and number 2, if that doesn't happen for whatever reason, put ourselves in a position to get an at-large bid. And I think our schedule, the type of schedule we're playing this year, really allows us to be able to do that. But really, goal number 1 is to try to win the American, and we'll see what happens when the poll comes out. I don't know that we're a preseason favorite. I really think SMU, at least on paper, is bringing back their entire team, and they were a couple games ahead of us last year. So, but I just don't think we're very far behind an SMU or a Tulane who's now coming over from Conference USA. So, you know, we're going to be in the mix. I just think how well we pass and we handle the ball is going to dictate how we win those close matches, and winning those close matches determines where we end up in the conference standings.
Is there anybody that particularly impressed you today?
Yeah, there was a couple people. I thought, Dana Hayes has really done a nice job of setting. Marie is still dealing with that wrist injury that she sustained up in Canada, which was a bone bruise and kept her out pretty much the whole summer. And Dana had stepped in as a lead setter after being a backup for such a long time, and I thought that continued seamlessly today. I thought Dana was outstanding. I was really happy with how Marie Ritrova battled through her wrist, and I thought she set really well. DeLaina Sarden, I don't think people realize or understand what it's like to have an athlete like that on your side of the net, where she is so dependable. And even when teams try to double block her instead of defense up to stop her, she knows ways to try to defeat it. So I was really happy to see her go out there and be as consistent as she was today. And she has one of those opportunities this year to be one of the top 5 or 6 hitters in the entire country. I thought the other people that stood out for me, I thought Jayla Hervey, being a new player, a new outside hitter, took some great swings for us, especially out of system and ball control defensively, did a nice job. And then Taylor Gallart, we put her in a position where she got a lot of reps and a lot of swings today, got to play front row the whole time. And I think she put up about 24 kills and hit almost 300. So it's good to see Taylor back, because she's been a bit of a roller coaster, and she's been working on some things to try to make herself more consistent. And I thought today she really stepped up big time, and we need that depth in the outside hitting position to be able to be a conference champion contender. Well, I think one of them we just mentioned was Jayla. I thought she worked her way in like she's been here for years. There's no doubt that Kia Bright is going to be one of the most, if not the most physical outside attacker UCF has ever had. And we've had some pretty good ones, especially you go back to the 2000s and the late 1990s. There's some pretty good outside hitters. Kia has the ability to be that, and there's some things that she's going to continue to work on, and it's real technical stuff that we just need to work on with her. And I thought she was pretty good today, and then she's going to make some errors that she'll tell you that she wasn't real excited about. But I think she's a pretty physical hitter, and so she was a real pleasant surprise. Ann Richards, I thought, was solid in the middle. She's going to learn a lot about blocking at the collegiate level, and right now she's still learning how to eye sequence, watch the right things at the right time and the right hitter and the cues. And I think once she gets that, she can be a dominating hitter, and her offense will improve as well over the course of that time. Hallie Scott did a nice job serving, playing defense. Actually, Hallie did a much better job today than she had been doing in practice, so I was pleasantly surprised by that. Nahali Molina is one of those players that just kind of walked into my office at an opportune time. We had an injury to a setter, and Nani stopped in and said, "Hey, I'm a setter. I'd like to play." And so she got to play 2 solid sets with the black team, and I thought she did a great job. So each of these new players is adding a nice depth for us. Fleener, I really don't consider her so much a new player. She's had a spring with us, but really this will be her first fall. Offensively, we know what we're going to get with her. She's got a great arm. We get her one-on-one, and she's lethal. And we keep working with her blocking in some of her off-play situations. So each of the 6 are really starting to carve out a role for themselves. They're working really hard at it. And I would not be surprised to see each of the 6 play, some sort of a critical role for us at some point during the season.
DeLaina, talk about how good it felt to be back out on the court today.
It just felt like amazing. I know that we've been playing against each other every day in preseason, but just to have the jerseys on and to go live, 25 points, it was just like an uplifting feeling. And my competitive side definitely came out today, and I was pushing my teammates because, we only have a few more days until it's actually game time. So it's a good way to replicate that same feeling in the gym.
You've accomplished a lot individually. Coach has really high praise for you. Do you feel like a little extra pressure on this team to get this team to where they want to be?
I don't take it as pressure. I think take it as motivation. It keeps me going every day, and I just know how much the team depends on me. But the thing that I take, and I really like this year, is how much depth we have on the outside. So that they're depending on me, but it's not all on me this year. And it never has really been, but sometimes it's good to know that I don't have to be the one to put this ball down right now. I have 4 other hitters that I can go to at all times on the court.
You hit pretty well today. Talk about how that goes into what you were focusing on when you're out there.
My main focus today was just creating shots and creating space for myself. I know that, like he said earlier, I've built up a big reputation. So when we play teams, their main goal is going to be to shut me down, and I can't let that stop me. So whether I have a triple block or a double block, I have to find ways to at least get them out of system. Not every swing is a kill, and knowing that, I know that I have to create other shots for myself. So that was my focus today, that if I had an open look, I took it, and if I didn't, then I tried to get the team out of system the best I could.
How's this offseason compared to past offseasons where you've been at UCF as far as the optimism for the upcoming season goes?
It's been completely different, and every year you have a good mindset going into it, but this year, just as Todd says, and it's going to be the same thing we keep reiterating every interview, but just the depth we have in the outside and our pin hitters, it's just amazing to know that we're going to be such an offensive threat, and the defense is just going to follow along right in line with it. So coming in out of this preseason, it's way different than any other offseason because we can really take on the conference this year and we can be a big contender in it.
When the offense is clicking like that, talk about how does it help the defense if your offense is continually getting the other team out of system?
It definitely helps the defense a lot because it gives them time to get back into their base and settle. When everything's going so fast, you don't have a lot of opportunity to get back and just reset your mind and your focus. So getting them out of system and really taking good off shots or good speed shots, it helps the defense just get back settled and know that where they're supposed to be.
All right, today I wanted to focus on my consistency. I know that's something I struggle with, and I wanted to make sure I'm a strong person that the team can rely on, and that I think I did that really well today and worked on my consistency.
How does your comfort level compare to this time last year since you're a sophomore
I'm going to say my freshman year I was a little nervous, and I think I was a little hesitant with things I did on the court. And now that I'm a sophomore, I'm a lot more comfortable with the girls. I know them really well, and I'm feeling a lot more comfortable, like taking more of a role on the team, and everything is just more comfortable and in place now that I'm older.
You worked with some different rotations today. How easy was it to kind of, whenever lineups change, what was that rotation like? Was it an easy adjustment? How did that affect your game?
Well, I played with the black side the most of the time, but the lineups changed in the second round, and it was a lot different because on my first team I had DeLaina and a bunch of the older girls, so they kind of took charge, and like I'm more blend in those situations because I let them take charge and I follow the lead. But in the second round, I was one of the older girls on the court and more experienced girls on the court, so I made sure to take charge and lead my team into like strong attack, and I believe it was a success. So
how do classes interact with volleyball since they're starting this week and volleyball season starts a week after that?
Having volleyball and academics it's a hard thing to do, but we have so much help with academic advisors and tutoring that it's not going to be a hard struggle to get back into it. I mean, it will be for the first couple of days, but once you get back into it, you focus on your academics and you focus on your volleyball, and that's all you really have.